Hey everybody, welcome to our channel Plequetica. My name is Daniel and today I'm here at the Kiff in Aarau together with Julien from Gorod. Welcome.
Thank you, Nutz. You already introduced myself, so that's it. And we're gonna play tonight, actually, so it's just before the show, so the thing is real now.
Yeah, so I introduce you and you can introduce the band.
So Gorod is actually a pretty old band. We just celebrated the 21st birthday not that long ago, in September. And I joined personally the band because I'm too young to have it created that year, because it was created in 1997. I joined the band in 2010. So there are still two original members, so band members. So for the forming member are Mathieu, the main composer, guitar player, and Barbie, the bass player. And the others were coming after me.
Yeah.
So, but the lineup is still the same since 2013, summer 2013, and we have a really good team and very close friends now. And yeah, everything is the turnout is really good now, right now.
Okay, sounds good. And you're from Bordeaux, the famous wine region in France.
Yep, that's it.
Do you like wine?
Yeah, we do. Yeah, actually, all the bands is originally from Bordeaux. I'm the only one who is not. That's the problem, and I'm the one who holds the microphone. I'm from Toulouse, and this is a city is located 250 kilometers away from each other. We are the two big cities from the southwest, so there is a big rivalry between the city. So we try to always make fun of it, but we both drink wine because. There is a rivalry because the wine is in Bordeaux, and in Toulouse our wine is not as good, so they always considered us as bad person or something like this. But yeah, for sure we do. I do like wine, cheese, and everything, all the cliché.
Cliché, okay, so it's
absolutely.
Good. And the name Gorod, what does that mean?
Gorod means city in Russian, actually, and the band changed the name because previously it was Gorgasm, and that band was formed in 1997. But during that time, they didn't know that there was another band named Gorgasm. When they signed the deal, it was I think 2006. I was not playing in the band at that time with Relative Record, which is an American label. The label asked to change the name. And then they made a big brainstorming all together, trying to find a name that starts with the same letters, like Gorod or something like this. And in the end, they say Gorod sounds cool, so it will be Gorod from that time. And there is no particular connection with Russia, but this sounds cool. This is a kind of coincidence, yeah.
Okay, according to your Facebook site, you're the undisputed kings of melodic tech death.
Only that.
Yeah. How does this come?
I think it's a band that exists for a long time and is kind of respected. And what is weird is that Gorod, or previously Gorgasm, started to be famous first in the US. So there is a lot of big tradition and connection with it. And I think there are not so many bands who play exactly this genre, because usually tech death is super extreme, and Gorod was not into that much super fast blast beat or stuff, really melodic. So there's probably a meaning, because we were probably one of the, not the only bands, but one of the only bands who played this kind of super melodic tech death metal. So probably this is why we are at the top of this list of probably 5 bands.
I guess there are more, but yeah, could be. So let's talk about your latest record, Eytra, is it called, released October 19th. Yep. And the name, is it a character from the Greek mythology?
Absolutely, yeah, that's it. And because the whole topic of the concept of this album is all about the moon. So I was seeking for many different devotion in the entire world, in many different cultures and cults who has a culture with the moon. And Eytra is a very complicated name, because actually the moon for the Greeks is Selene. I don't know the word in English, Selene, but they are all together. There is Helios, this is the sun, Selene, who is the moon, and Eos, she's the dawn. And she has a mother. They all have a mother, and the mother is Theia. And sometimes the historians are not really agree, and sometimes they name it Eytra. So this is a sort of, I would say, usually when you talk about someone who is missing someone, we always talk about, when you talk about orphan, the orphan is always the kid. But this time I wanted to deal with the topic of the orphan, the mother as an orphan, because she's known, she disappeared. We don't really know who it is. So this is a question to how identify some character and stuff like this. Who are they? Who can she be? And she's the mother of the moon in the end.
Yeah, okay, sounds good.
In Greek mythology only. In Greek mythology.
Yeah.
And astronomy as well.
So the album has 10 tracks, and the first one is Wolfsmond.
Yeah.
And why is it a German title? It's the only German title on this record.
So this song, the topic is about the Norse mythology. So I took the topic from the Icelandic Edda, the classic Edda. You know, there are two books like that. And I was looking for the topic of the moon. So in the Scandinavian culture, the moon is a man. And the goddess of this is a goddess of the sun, which is Sol. So Mani is the god of the moon, and they are in their thing they were sentenced to death, like there are wolves who are running after them. And the month of December is also called Wolfsmond, because this is the month where the days are getting shorter and shorter, and people believe, or in this mythology, that this is the month when finally the wolves will eat first the moon and the sun, and this starts the twilight of the dawn for real. So I took this topic because this is the other name of this month. This is also a reminder of that story of the sun and the moon, and also Mathieu, the main composer, is born in December, so I made a sort of dedication to it. So this is why. And Wolfsmond is the original name. This is only the German way to call it the name of this month. So I chose this name.
Okay, good. I heard you had only 6 weeks to finish the record. Why did you set yourself such a narrow shell?
So it's a bit more complicated like that. To be honest, the very start process of the composition started in the end of November, and I finished the recording of the vocals the first weekend of April. So it was a bit more than 4 months, between 4 and 1. But in the end, the writing process was super fast. I mean, Mathieu probably composed in 6 weeks, and same for me for the lyrics. So this kind of, it was super fast. But the problem is that we had a new album for the end of this year. And the only way, if you wanted to make it, we had to to work that way super fast. And it was very challenging because, yes, making 10 tracks in such a short time, this is really crazy. And to be honest, we didn't sleep very much during the time. That was terrible. It was good only when it was over, but the process was terrible, really.
So in retrospective, it was a good idea, or it was? What was the benefit or the downside of that?
I think this, in the end, it is 100% benefits because you don't have the time to think. Mm-hmm. You just do. Like about the composition, Mathieu is always takes his time, like redoing many riffs or composing, changing the harmonization. Then he had no time for it. It was the first shot, so it was super spontaneous. And in the end, this spontaneity, I think you can feel it because it goes straight to the point. There is no superficial stuff. This is really straightforward. And also for the topic, I needed to find a sort of easier topic than usual. So that's why I talk about the moon. And then in the end, everyone has a story about the moon, and all the album is like a big block made in one way. And in the end, I think this is only benefits because spontaneity is super important in the process of creation. Also, I think.
But would you do it the same way again?
No. Please, no. Okay. But yeah, this is probably what will happen, unfortunately.
Yeah. Okay, good. And what would you say was the biggest influence to this record to bring that sound to the way it sounds now?
So this time there was not real influence, but we have been asking Mathieu to make more minor chords because usually it's very, I would say, bright. The tone is very happy and stuff like this, and this time we asked her to make sort of darker composition, to have something like more solemn and some. Yeah, that was the purpose. Not really black metal for sure, but with different kind of minor chords. This is the only thing, and to find like darker tones.
I agree. It sounds heavier. It sounds.
In order to have something like behemoth style or whatever. But that was the thing, to make something darker and more and deeper than usual, and less light and bright as the usual composition of Gorod, who are like super dancey and groovy. This time is a bit more.
But you did a lot more experience with your voice, right?
Actually, I had more liberty, I would say, this time because usually I'm singing a lot in clean singing when I'm in a natural way. I love screaming; it's not a problem for sure. But I always wanted to introduce more and more clean vocals in it because that's something I like to do. But it's super hard to incorporate it in the music of Gorod. And I've been asking Mathieu also, please, can you make more passage when I can put clean vocals? And he was trying to think that way. And then we put a bit more, slightly more and more after albums, because for sure, when I joined the band, the previous singer was a real beast. He was a real death metal singer. So we couldn't change the entire thing from an album to another. So slowly we are integrating more and more clean part, and there will be more in the future for sure.
How was the reaction from the fans? Usually when you starting to put in some clean vocals, the fans will say, "Oh, it's not the old stuff anymore." And
Actually, I was a bit afraid of it, but the more time goes on, more I don't care. But this is what we do, and we want to still do what we want to do. That's something very important. We don't want to follow any choice or artistic direction or stuff. And sure, it was a kind of, okay, probably some of the fan will be, no, for sure, if you are like a super old school fan of the very first album, it's impossible to enjoy it. Because this is, but the band is changing, the lineup has changed, and Mathieu, also the main composer, who was still composing the music, never wanted to make two albums that sound the same. So it will always be different. That's the point.
Okay. Okay, sounds good. So, and last one, little silly question. Which interviews questions do you hate the most?
Which interview question do you hate the most? Wow. Like the kind of question that you've been asked when someone really don't know the band at all. Like something that has no sense. But I have nothing very specific that comes to my mind right now. But because, to be honest, the last interview I got were mostly good. I'm not licking your ass. No, that's really true. And this year, for this album, all the interviews I made were really, really nice, and all people knew the bands. But back in the day, for the previous album, or for A Perfect Absolution, I had many interviews. Like, there was the sort of reviewer was forced to make it. He doesn't know death metal at all. He's like asking questions. You're just like, what's the point? Like, I think it's not a specific question, but more the fact of knowing or being interesting in advance in the band or not. I think it comes more from that point. So that's it.
Okay, cool. Then, merci beaucoup.
Merci beaucoup. Vielen Dank.
And merci beaucoup to you guys. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and do all that crap, you know it. And check out Gorod, check out the band, and see you soon.
Yeah, thanks for support, and probably see you on stage. Who knows? Cheers.
Good. Yeah.
So thanks a lot, man.
Thanks a lot.
You're welcome.
It was a pleasure.
Cool, that. But that's exactly that. When you have questions, there's no single silly question that you ask.
Yeah. I